With Pete Alonso, I'm not hitting the alarm on this, Joe, but I do get a sense from the fan base that people, and they're right to ask this question. Are you worried at all, Joe, that Pete is kind of now leaning into an all or nothing player? You look at when he came up that year, he hit 260 in his next, and he had 941 OPS, 358 on base. His next full season, 2021, of course, because we're not counting the COVID year, 262, 344 on base. And then you look at 2022, 271, 352 on base. Last year, Joe, 217 batting average, 318 on base. This year so far, 212 batting average, 297 on base. We are starting to get to a place where we can't just always use streakiness and slumps as an excuse right now, where the reality is, and Pete Alonso hit 46 home runs last year, right? Pete Alonso will hit over 40 home runs this year. He's already got 9. It hasn't been that long. He'll hit over 40 this year. Is there any fear, Joe, that as Pete gets closer to 30, that he is not the well-rounded offensive player he was earlier in his career?
Very distinct possibility that's the case. And when you look at this year as well, off the field too, you have to think about, we always talk about walk years, right? And so often walk year stuff is just like, oh, it's his walk year, so he's going to have the best year of his career. And then he's going to go and he's going to cash in. And it works that way sometimes. And other times, sometimes you put a little too much pressure on yourself.
Sometimes you're Luis Severino.
Yes. So I think that I think there is probably some of that because you see Pete pressing that, which is not normal for him. Like last year wasn't a great year by Pete Alonso measures, but I never watched him last year and felt like, man, Pete is really pressing up there. It just felt like it just wasn't working out. Looks like he's pressing at the plate. He's chasing more than I'm used to seeing him chase. Like I know he strikes out, and that comes to the territory of a 40 home run guy, and you live with that. But if he's going to be somebody that is a bat in the 2 teens, 220, and get on base around the 300 clip, the 40 home runs are great, but they're not nearly as valuable at that point. So I think Pete Alonso needs to get back to what worked. He's a strong guy that he doesn't have to try to put the ball over the fence. He just needs to hit the ball and it'll go over the fence. So, hopefully the way the St. Louis series ended, where things looked a little normal, he roped that homer, crushed that double into the right center field gap, looked much more like Pete Alonso. And, obviously I'm going off 2 at-bats instead of like a month-long sample size, but it all has to start somewhere.